Wet dreams, why they happen, and how to reduce them when they get excessive. Hello, and welcome to the channel. A young man recently asked me to give him advice as to how to tackle excessive wet dreams. This is a delicate problem, and I wish to answer his question fully here by doing this video. Wet dreams, nocturnal emissions, sleepy time surprise. Call it whatever you want, it happens. And if you're a teenager or a young adult watching this, yes, this video is about you. And if you're a parent watching this, wondering why the laundry never dries fast enough, well, welcome to Life on Planet Masculinity. Today on Askadoc, we're breaking down what wet dreams actually are, why they happen, and more importantly, what you can do if they feel excessive. Because while they're almost always normal and harmless, not everyone loves waking up in a puddle, like they're a Disney character whose superpower is involuntary nighttime hydration. Let's begin. What exactly is a wet dream? A wet dream, officially called a nocturnal emission, is when ejaculation happens during sleep. Usually during a dream that involves sexual content, but not always. In fact, a decent percentage of wet dreams happen with no sexual dreams at all. The brain just presses the eject button without consulting the dream director. Now, the name wet dream implies something erotic, but content-wise, it can be anything. Some people have them during dreams about flying, running, or eating a burrito. The human nervous system is creative. Medically, a wet dream is the body's way of managing semen buildup and sexual tension. It's not a moral failure, a sin, a disease, or a sign of being too sexual. It's literally maintenance work, like taking out the trash, but for sperm. Who gets them and how often? Most males experience wet dreams at some point between ages 12 and 20. It's especially common during puberty, when testosterone production spikes like a kid who just discovered energy drinks. Frequency varies wildly. Some never experience one. Some get them once or twice ever. Some get them weekly during adolescence. Some get them multiple times a night during hormonal peaks. By the 20s, they usually decline. By the 30s and 40s, they might disappear entirely unless someone is practicing strict abstinence. The bottom line, your frequency is not a measure of masculinity, sexual desire, or reproductive health. It's just biology doing biology things. Why do they happen? Biologically, wet dreams are driven by three main factors. 1, hormones, especially testosterone. Levels fluctuate over a 24-hour rhythm and peak during REM sleep, which is when most erotic dreaming happens. 2, REM sleep plus arousal centers. During REM sleep, the brain becomes highly active, dreamlike, and emotional. The areas involved in sexual arousal can activate without conscious control. 3, pressure release mechanism. The male reproductive system continuously produces semen. If there's no ejaculation during waking hours, the system eventually says, "We're full," initiating disposal protocol. Think of it like a factory that keeps making products even if the warehouse is already full. Eventually, crates have to go somewhere. Is it harmful? Short answer, no. Wet dreams do not. Drain testosterone, cause infertility, weaken your body, cause erectile dysfunction, shrink the brain. Yes, someone asked that. Indicate a medical problem. They're not a sign of sexual addiction, a disorder, or a moral issue. Most cultures that attach shame to wet dreams are doing it for cultural or religious reasons, not medical ones. From a medical standpoint, wet dreams are about as harmful as sneezing in your sleep, mildly inconvenient for the sheets, but that's about it. What counts as excessive? Here's the interesting part. There's no official medical definition of too many wet dreams, Doctors don't have a chart where they say, 7 per week, you qualify for platinum membership. Instead, the threshold is based on distress and impact. Wet dreams may feel excessive if they disrupt your sleep, they cause embarrassment. They happen multiple times nightly. They cause penile soreness from repeated erections. They interfere with religious or personal practices. They trigger anxiety or guilt. If none of those are present, even frequent wet dreams can be perfectly fine. However, if they bother you, there are strategies that can reduce them. Why might someone want to reduce them? We're not here to shame or moralize, but there are legitimate personal reasons someone might want fewer wet dreams. Practical, laundry, bedding, privacy. Psychological, shame, anxiety, rituals. Religious or spiritual discipline. Partner considerations, discomfort or irritation. Just personal preference. Medicine doesn't require justification for wanting better control over your body. Strategies to reduce frequency. Now, for the part you probably clicked for, there isn't a magic pill, but there are evidence-informed strategies that help reduce wet dreams for most people. We'll categorize them into 7 buckets. Category 1, reducing sexual tension during the day. One of the biggest drivers is pent-up sexual tension. Strategies include A, exercise. Physical activity reduces stress hormones and can stabilize testosterone levels. Intense workouts, especially leg workouts like squats, deadlifts, and running, have measurable effects on hormonal balance. B, limiting erotic stimulation, pornography, erotic content, fantasy, flirting, and sexual media all increase nighttime arousal potential. The less stimulation the brain gets during the day, the less likely it is to replay those themes at night. C, staying busy. The brain loves to wander when bored, and it tends to wander south. Productive distraction works surprisingly well. Category 2, evaluating ejaculation habits. This is not moral advice, it's mechanical. There are 2 paths people often choose. Option A, regular ejaculation. For people comfortable with masturbation or sexual activity, ejaculating 1-3 times per week reduces the buildup that triggers nocturnal emissions. Option B, abstinence with discipline techniques. For those abstaining for personal or religious reasons, avoiding erotic triggers is essential. Otherwise, abstinence alone increases wet dreams because the factory keeps making inventory with nowhere to put it. Both strategies are valid, depending on personal goals. The body doesn't care about morality, it cares about pressure and storage capacity. Category 3, sleep position and environment. You wouldn't think sleep posture matters, but it does. A, sleep position. Sleeping face down or with pressure on the groin increases friction and arousal. Side or back, sleeping reduces stimulation. B, temperature. A hot bedroom increases REM sleep intensity and can increase sexual dreaming. A cooler room, about 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, 64-68 degrees Fahrenheit, may help. C, full bladder effect. A full bladder can activate pelvic nerves that also stimulate erection and ejaculation reflexes. Going to the bathroom before bed reduces that. Category 4, stress and mental health. Surprisingly, stress and anxiety increase wet dreams. Why? When stressed, the brain increases REM sleep intensity and dream vividness. More vivid dreams equals more potential erotic themes. Helpful tools include meditation, yoga, breathwork, journaling, therapy if needed, reducing caffeine. Late in the day, people often assume stress lowers libido. In reality, it can just reroute it into dreams. Category 5, nighttime triggers. The 2-3 hours before sleep are prime risk territory. Avoid these if reducing wet dreams is the goal. Erotic media, sexting, fan fiction with romantic scenes. scrolling attractive people on Instagram or TikTok. Memory replay fantasies before bed. Instead, fill the window with reading, music, documentaries, light stretching, relaxing routines. Category 6, diet and supplements, realistic expectations. Food will not magically shut down sexual dreams, but it can indirectly change sleep architecture. Carbohydrate-rich foods increase serotonin, which promotes calmer sleep cycles. Protein before bed helps stabilize blood sugar and reduce nighttime awakening. Supplements with some evidence for improving sleep quality include magnesium glycinate, chamomile tea, L-theanine, avoid near bedtime. Caffeine, sauce, nicotine, alcohol. Alcohol especially causes REM rebound later in the night, which increases dream intensity, including sexual dreams. Category 7, cultural and religious techniques. Many traditions, especially in Eastern cultures, have non-pornographic ways of redirecting sexual energy. Practices include pelvic floor relaxation, breath redirection, attention redirection, non-arousing mindfulness, sexual transmutation concepts. While the language varies, the underlying biology is about reducing fantasy loops and lowering daytime arousal. What doesn't work? Let's debunk a few myths. Cold showers? Refreshing, but don't reliably change REM emissions. Willpower? Biology doesn't negotiate with stubbornness. Supplements that stop ejaculation. No peer-reviewed evidence, shaming or guilt. These increase anxiety and intrusive thoughts, both of which make wet dreams more likely, not less. Medical perspective. Doctors don't treat wet dreams as a disease. There are no FDA-approved medications for preventing them. If someone wanted to eliminate them entirely, the only 100% effective methods are surgical castration, don't do that. Chemical castration, also don't do that. Severe malnutrition, definitely don't do that. So if someone on the internet promises a 30-day cure, it's probably snake oil or shame-based marketing. But can you reduce them significantly? Yes. Most people can reduce frequency by 30-70% with behavioral changes alone, especially focusing on sexual stimulus, stress, and regular ejaculation patterns. Some people can suppress them almost entirely with lifestyle and mental discipline, especially if abstinence is paired with low erotic exposure and structured routines. When to see a doctor? You do not need a doctor for occasional wet dreams. However, consider medical evaluation if wet dreams are accompanied by severe pelvic pain, bloody semen or urine, inability to urinate, erectile dysfunction, decreased libido, testicular swelling, neurological symptoms. That's extremely rare, but worth mentioning for completeness. To conclude, wet dreams are one of those biological processes that society has turned into a punchline, a taboo, or a moral crisis. Medically, they are none of those things. They're normal, common, and usually harmless. If they bother you, you're not weird and you're not alone. Plenty of people want more control over their sexual biology, and that's valid. The main strategies are reduce sexual tension, manage stress, avoid erotic triggers before bed, adjust sleep habits, consider regular ejaculation depending on personal values, optimize sleep environment. Whether your goal is to reduce wet dreams for convenience, discipline, religious reasons, or just less laundry, you have options. If you found this video valuable, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with the friend who's mysteriously been washing his sheets 3 times a week. And remember, your body isn't working against you, it's just running the software it was programmed with. If you have any questions, feel free to Askadoc.